and welcome back to part 2 of Between the Sheets with Pamela, episode 9. I think we're kicking off with Helen Moffat. Enjoy. Now, Helen, I want you to tell me about your latest find.
Well, this is very saucy of me because I haven't read this amazing collection of short stories yet because I only got the book this weekend and I've been wanting to dash out and buy it, and I knew that somebody had it for me as a gift. So I couldn't, and I had to wait until I got it then. Jo Phillips. Remember this name. She is going to be huge. She's very young. She's done this collection of short stories in a kind of a vernacular, in a Western Cape Afrikaans English vernacular, that everybody from certain rural fishing villages will recognize. But the amazing thing is, and I've read extracts, is that it's accessible to everybody. She's a brilliant prose writer. She's also an extraordinary poet. I had the incredible good fortune to hear her read at the recent McGregor Poetry Festival. She read a poem that she'd written in English about the impact of the DOP system on her family. There was not a dry eye in the house. And the amazing thing was that everybody was crying. Everybody in the room. And I had to get up and read after this. There's something about the integrity of her voice.
Oh, I mean, I saw her at the German club. She is absolutely amazing. I agree. I think there's something about her.
It's, we have a country that's absolutely full of talent, and I'm a terrible talent stalker. I'm always looking for people who I think are going to be really the next big thing in South African literature. And there are, I think, a lot of people who are talented. Oh, it's a majority.
Oh, it's Colleen. Colleen published
So
it.
Colleen Higgs published it.
Colleen, you just so
It
brilliant.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Who
okay.
else is finding our brilliant young woman writers?
Okay, so I'm sure you can get that at the Book Lounge and at Love Books Jersey. Is it in? It must be in exclusive books as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, this
yeah. Yeah.
homebrew.
No, she's brilliant. She's absolutely
And quite
brilliant.
right too. And she is just, you said something about you meeting her at the German club. There's an enormous amount of talent, but you know what else readers have to have in anything they read is authenticity or integrity. There's something about that. Her voice is absolutely and uniquely her own.
But you can tell she's a poet. Like last night, Paige, Nick and I were going, just her turn of phrase, the texture of the things she says. I mean, she's actually quite and plus she's a Mobango fan. Love her already.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Helen Moffat.
So,
cheers. Where's your champagne?
Yes, we need to drink. We need to clink
Chin
glasses. Chin chin.
Beautiful to be with you. Thank you.
Lovely to be with you and to be on Pamela's vlog.
What he's up to now.
Okay, this is gonna sound pretty poncy. I'm calling it a trilogy. With Reacher Said Nothing as the first book.
Okay.
The second book got the rather sexy title, I believe, With Child. That
You've obviously never been pregnant. Yeah.
It used to be sexy. All right. You putting me off it now. But all right. So that is like a sequel, which is also non-fiction, which is the follow-up.
Okay.
And it's what happens to Lee Child after he publishes me, rather than before. Okay. The third book in the trilogy, which is the one I'm working on right now, since you asked me that question, is called The Foreign.
That sounds sexy.
Yeah, I think it is quite. Because now many people have asked me, okay, you spent ages with Flip and Lee Child, surely you can write thriller. Answer, okay, yes.
Oh,
This
cool.
is fiction.
Aww.
And it is a thriller which rips off Camus' The Outsider and transposes it to Scandi Noir land in Sweden.
Oh, I love the sound of that.
And then proceeds to rip off Larson with a little homage to Lee Child, to be fair.
People keep interrupting us.
That's all right.
No. I pressed the red button. Oh, you video. get, you are worried something has happened to him, and as it gets later, you hope something's happened to him. It can work like that. Now, what I found very interesting about the book was the idea of marriage as a prison. That in fact, the women in many instances felt safer in the actual prison than they did in marriage. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate thing, because marriage or any relationship, any family household, when you do it right, it's not a prison. It's actually a very liberating and freeing place. I mean, people in a healthy relationship live longer and all of that good stuff that comes along with it. But for some women, if you're trapped in a relationship that feels repressive, that feels constricting, then that is a prison. That's a place where you don't have room to breathe, to be yourself, to be who you want to be to the people around you. And so that's what this story is. It's a story of a woman's life where that's what her marriage is. It is more of a prison than it is a garden that it should be.
I also liked, I think it was what you said at the one panel at Open Book, about the idea that all women can relate to the oppression that these women experience. I mean, I grew up in a Roman Catholic household in Zimbabwe with an Irish father and a South African mother, but I could absolutely, I'm a white middle-class South African, but I could absolutely relate to these women. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff that happens in Afghanistan to women. There's a lot of stuff that I write about that is not unique to Afghanistan, and it is not unique to that part of the world. It is not unique to the religion of Afghanistan. It's really something that crosses borders, that crosses the globe. And I've had the good opportunity now to speak to people from all over the world. That's the incredible part about having this book out there, or any of my books. And anytime you go into a more conservative culture, and really all over, there is a legacy of patriarchy. And that's what women everywhere in the world are experiencing. And so we see it in the United States. I mean, I can tell you from my own experience, even in the medical field, there is a legacy of patriarchy there, and that's in a very Western country, a very progressive country, and in a very educated, hello. Well then.
Okay, we're going to try this for the third time because Missy is high on flu medication. Thank you, Andy Martin, for joining me on Karina's bed. I know, which doesn't sound weird at all. For Between the Sheets with Pamela. Cheers, Andy.
It's been a pleasure, Pamela. Thank you so much.